014-896-80.
A very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News, come to you live and direct from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I'm Florin Rajendran. Before going to the stories in detail, here's a look at the headlines. The number of deaths owing to landslides rises to 6 in the Badulla district. The Sirasa Shakti Sanayatra together with John Keel's Holdings take steps to relaunch this relief program for those affected by the inclement weather. Deputy Minister Nishantha Muthuhettigama, who was issued with a warrant, flies overseas. 10th anniversary of the tsunami disaster. In those stories in detail now, the number of deaths owing to earth embankments and landslides due to the inclement weather in the Badulla district rises to 6. The Disaster Management Centre stated that all sluice gates in the main reservoirs in the island have been opened.
2 deaths from Galkanda following the collapse of an earth embankment, 2 other deaths from Hegoda, while individual deaths were reported from Pahalagama and Siriketha in the Badulla Mahiyangane main road. The police media spokesperson's office said that several houses have been damaged following a landslide that occurred in Rilpola, Badulla. Police said that several persons have been reported missing following the incident and that rescue operations is currently underway to locate the missing. Meanwhile, the Department of Irrigation says that water levels in several reservoirs continue to rise due to the prevalent inclement weather. Director of the Hydrology Division at the Irrigation Department, Prema Hettiarachchi, said that the water capacity in the Kalani River and the Nilvara River is rising. Meanwhile, Colombo Zonal Irrigation Director P.K. Padmakirthi stated that the Nagalamvidiya water scale reading at the Kalani River has increased to 3.2 feet. He stated that this may result in minor floods in the area. Padmakirthi speaking further warned residents living in low-lying areas in the vicinity of the Kalani River to exercise precaution.
Now, the Met Department issued a red alert strongly warning the general public to not to set out to sea and stay away from the beaches from Putlam and Kankesunture via Puttuville. The low pressure in the area close to the southeastern coast of Sri Lanka has intensified into a depression. It is expected to move closer to Sri Lanka, thus resulting in an increase in heavy rainfall throughout the day. The Capital Maharaja organization, together with John Keel's Holdings, has launched the Sahanayatra relief program once again in order to provide relief aid for those affected by the adverse weather conditions prevalent across several areas in the island. The organization is hoping to take necessary steps to provide relief for those affected prior to coordinating with relevant correspondents based in areas at which people have been evacuated due to extreme weather conditions. The organization committee of the Sirasa Shakti John Keel Sanayatra says that an official announcement will be made to the public prior to gathering information in this regard. On to other local news, President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that free education will not be curtailed. The President made this statement at a rally held in Galle yesterday.
The rally was organized in support of presidential candidate Mahinda Rajapaksa ahead of the presidential election next year. A group including several ministers participated in the event.
විපක්ෂය උදවිය ඔවුන් දරුවන්ට කරන යන අපරාධය
I take this opportunity to announce that the opposition is resorting to curtail the free education system. They say that necessary steps will be taken to revise the education fully. It is also mentioned that steps will be taken to enroll capable students who did not attain opportunity to enter universities on a scholarship basis. They are vying to sell private banks and curtail the state sector. Think about this for a minute. They say that they will provide relief. They are attempting to do this by adding another 500 to the relief that was given by my budget speech. That is adding 1,000. This is not an election of a village council. This is an election that will pave the way to govern an entire nation.
මේක ගාන් සභා මැතිවරණයක් නෙවෙයි. මේ රටක් පාලනය කරන්න දෙන මැතිවරණයක්.
An event was held in Pahaleyagoda in Gampaha to welcome presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena. Pahaleyagoda is the birth town of Maithripala Sirisena.
The event was organized by the area residents of the Pahaleyagoda area. Presidential candidate arrived at the Sri Sugatanandana Rama temple in the Pahaleyagoda area and received the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem. Subsequently, the presidential candidate expressed these views addressing a gathering in his birth town. They have not provided proper jobs. They have not made arrangements to live. The Mahinda Rajapaksa program has not done any good for the children to win the society with the competition of the world of technology. All of you have understood the great lie that is being told. Through our government, we will educate the children and will enact the 1 million jobs program for the uneducated youth of the country as soon as we come into power. It was Matata Tita that eroded the discipline of the country completely. You know that the country was destroyed by the drug, the ethanol, the alcohol and the cannabis menace.
In headline-making news, Deputy Minister Nishantha Muthuhettigama, who was issued with a warrant over the Vanduraba incident recently, has travelled overseas using the VIP entrance at the Bandaranaike International Airport early this morning. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rona confirmed to Newsfirst that the Deputy Minister had travelled overseas. Nishantha Muthuhettigama travelled overseas at the BIA, which is a high-security zone where police security is also beefed up. When we queried from SSP Ajit Rona, he said that the Deputy Minister Nishantha Muthuhettigama was not arrested as he was travelling using the VIP entrance at the Bandaranaike International Airport.
Deputy Minister Nishantha Muthuhettigama has left the country this morning at 1:30 via VIP terminal. So therefore, the police were not able to arrest him. We have not deployed police officers at the VIP terminal, and neither police nor the surveillance officers have been deployed at the VIP terminal. So therefore, we were not able to arrest him. However, we are going to conduct a special surveillance operation to arrest him on his arrival.
Date 26th of December 2004, time 9:25 a.m. Tsunami struck the nation and brought shock waves throughout the world. Today we mark 10 years since the tidal wave that devastated the nation.
The first tidal wave that was triggered by an underwater earthquake on the 26th of December 2004 at 6:58 a.m. local time first struck Indonesia. Over several hours later, the tidal wave hit the coastal belt of Sri Lanka with a speed of up to 800 kilometers per hour. The country, which experienced the extreme tidal wave for the first time, lost 40,000 lives after every passing second. Meanwhile, the Paralia area experienced the worst ever train accident, which is remembered as a rail disaster with the highest count of deaths in railroad history. It occurred when a train carrying around 1,500 passengers on the Paralia coastal line was hit by the tsunami which followed the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake.
Meanwhile, the National Safety Day is marked today. A number of memorial ceremonies were marked around the island, commemorating the lives that fell victim to the tsunami disaster.
A ceremony titled Secure Sri Lanka was held at the Ruhunuma Gampura International Auditorium in Hambantota this morning. The ceremony was held under the auspices of Parliamentary Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa and Minister Mahinda Amaravira. A moment of silence was observed from 9:25 a.m. to 9:27 a.m. in tribute to those who lost their lives in the tsunami disaster. Meanwhile, savings account books were presented to 86 children who lost their parents following the landslide that occurred in Media Badda. Meanwhile, another event was organised at the Modera Lasania Hall in remembrance of the lost lives in the tsunami disaster. Presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena, leader of the UNP Ranil Wickremesinghe, former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, parliamentarians Champika Ranawaka and Vajitha Senaratne were in attendance at the event. The event commenced with religious observances and was held under the auspices of Assistant Leader of the UNP, Ravi Karnanayaka. Another commemoration ceremony was organised in Paralia Hikkaduwa for the departed today. Floral tributes were also presented by the loved ones at the ceremony today.
Moving into some sports news now, at stumps on day one of the first Sri Lanka versus New Zealand test match that got underway from Christchurch early this morning, New Zealand were 427 for 7 wickets at the close of play. Brendan McCullum knocked out the touring Sri Lankan side on Boxing Day with the fastest test century in New Zealand test history. The Sri Lanka pacers troubled the top order before McCullum and Kane Williamson led them past 200, including 11 sixes and 18 fours. For the Sri Lankans, Suranga Lakmal, Dhammika Prasad and Shaminda Eranga shared a wicket each, while Angela Matthews took 2 wickets. Debutant Tharinder Kaushal took the wicket of McCullum, but not before conceding 159 runs in his 22 overs at an economy rate of 7.22.
Hotline 011489.
And that's a wrap of lunchtime news here at News First. For the News First team, I'm Florine Rajendran. Have a pleasant day ahead.
Hotline 0114896896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.